Hello, I'm Congressman Blake Moore from Utah's 1st Congressional District. We're here today in the beautiful Library of Congress talking to Director Mohindra about the Veterans History Project. This has been an effort that our team has been heavily focused on over the last year and a half, and we're thrilled to be able to share a little bit more about our experience today. So thank you, Director, for having us.
I'm so happy to be with you today and so inspired and impressed by how much you were able to accomplish so quickly. Can you share a little bit more about how this inaugural effort that started not even quite a year ago became a routine part of your office?
Yes, and I would say that we actually even did better than we expected to do with the amount of interest and excitement that we got around this project. I have an amazing team that works in both our DC and our district office, but this effort was particularly what we ran out of our Ogden office. And it was something that some of our team members, in particular Anthony Coombs, was so focused on and sharing out across the entire community. We got high school kids involved, we got college students we got involved, we got family members of veterans involved. Obviously, the veteran themselves, for them to come in and be interviewed, what was key. Every event that we went to, we talked about this, we put it in our newsletter every week. So we wanted to get out there and accomplish one big thing. For everyone in the community to recognize the value that veterans have brought to our nation and to our individual communities. And this is something that was really fun for us to focus on. Politics is a crazy world. To be able to have something that our team was solely focused on that was a total community builder was great. And the Library of Congress has been hugely helpful to provide not only just the objective and the initiative, but to be able to show up today and actually deliver over 60 interviews that we've done to be put into the archives here it's a special day.
We're so glad that you did that, because from this point forward, when they become accessioned into the Library of Congress, we take them. You started with the first point of benefit with your staff and the people in your community. Having that conversation with the seriousness of purpose is fantastic. But it's not an oral history, and it's not something that benefits our entire nation until it's brought here to the Library of Congress, where it's stabilized and preserved. When we receive a veteran's story, it's described and treated with the highest level of archival standards so that it lasts beyond natural disasters and the passage of time for posterity. Through ongoing digitization efforts, there are more than 7,000 hours of audio and over 9,000 hours of video currently in our collections of over 115,000 individual veteran stories. You might think, that's a huge number of stories, why do we need more? We need full representation, we need Utahns, and that's what you're really making a dent in.
Yeah, so as I looked at it, I had a chance to interview my dad. I have mentioned several times that I wish we would have been able to interview my grandpa, who served in the South Pacific in the World War II. Give me a sense for how are these families using these videos? How have you seen it impact individuals' lives, and just how do they access them, things like that?
What a great question. Thank you for asking. What we're seeing increasingly is family members who potentially missed an opportunity to reach the person, their loved one. Maybe they got one, but they weren't able to get another one. And what they'll do is they'll look either on our website or they'll come here to the American Folklife Center reading room, and they can explore the collections based on theme, based on topic, based on location of service, conflict, to understand a little bit more about the service of their family member, even if they weren't able to speak to them directly. They get a sense of that family member's service by understanding people who served alongside them, the men and women who were there, and experienced the human scale of the United States, either in conflict or during peacekeeping missions.
Absolutely, that's excellent. We have such a unique population of veterans in Utah, and I represent Hill Air Force Base, which is a very large and very active and very important center for Air Force activity. We have all branches of military represented, even Navy, even though we're landlocked. So Utah is a state that cares deeply about this. That's one big motivation that we were doing to make sure we got more of these stories embedded. But I want to, at some point, gear this towards something very, very specific. And I've talked about it several times, and sometimes I feel like all I'm doing is talking about it, and how do we actually solve the problem? But we have far too many. One is too many, but we're seeing a lot of mental health and suicide issues from our veterans, and that's a group that I want to be specifically focused on. The global war on terror was a very, very traumatic, tough thing for lots of folks to go through, and as they come out of their service, I want more of that group of people doing these interviews and telling their story, because I don't know how to solve the issue, but I do know that talking about it and being able to talk about your service and highlight it and find ways to be honored for their service, it can only be a step in the right direction. And so that would be a particular group that I would love to focus and push more of these stories to go, and our team will continue to do it.
We know that in Utah there are over 133,000 veterans left to share their story today, and that number will obviously shift. But some large percentage of those are exactly the veterans you're trying to reach, and that we all need to understand their story of service. There are the wounds that are seen, and then there are the wounds that are unseen. And while we're not medical professionals, we have indications from family members, from veterans themselves, who tell us every day that the beginning of feeling heard and safe started with that moment when they understood someone wanted to hear their story, that someone wanted to sit down and listen to what they had to say, and then the next step further, that it was important enough to be part of our national collective history here at the Library of Congress. So I'm not a medical professional, but I can say we've seen that experience. We know of a Vietnam veteran, for example, who had PTS and didn't know it for many years. He now keeps in his wallet a stack of cards that he made himself that have his Veterans History Project collection ID number on it, and he hands them to people, and he says, if you're a veteran, you need to do this too. Find someone to interview you for the Veterans History Project. If you're not a veteran, here's how you can understand more about our experience. And he'll tell you how much this has meant to him. So I absolutely congratulate and applaud your efforts to try to ensure that we all understand the fullness of this experience.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This is something special to our team, and I want to just encourage everyone to sign up and take advantage of this opportunity. You can go to our website, blakemore.house.gov. You can follow our newsletter. We provide links, easy access to be able to sign up for this. In particular, we've had a small dent. It's a big number. 133,000 veterans in Utah is a big number, but we've made a significant dent in that. And different age ranges, from high school kids to retired individuals, are getting a chance to engage in this process, and I think that's a really neat thing that's going on. So again, go to our website, sign up for it. For those of you that have done it and have participated in this, thank you so much. It means the absolute world to our team, and to be able to be here today in the Library of Congress to provide these interviews is a special moment for me and the rest of our team. But please sign up, engage with it, find a veteran in your life that might be interested in sharing a little bit of their story, and there will be positive outcomes that continue to come from it. So thank you.
And we appreciate you so much for what you're doing, representing here today all the work and effort of the people in your community who have already participated. And we encourage all Utahns out there to get in touch and make sure that your story is part of the Library of Congress Veterans History Project.